Okay, folks, so here's what we're going to be doing today. We're going to be going Android Studio. We're going to go ahead and download it. Download Android Studio. I have read and agree with the above terms and conditions. Go ahead and download it. It says I have a couple minutes left. So what you're going to do next is, once this is fully downloaded, you're going to go ahead and drag the DMG file, which is what this is for macOS, and you're going to drag it over to the applications folder. I already have it installed on this one. So what you'll be doing is following all of the prompts. You'll see this splash screen, and what you'll see is, instead of this, you'll see something like this. You'll see this welcome to Android Studio, and it will have a configuration that you're going to start going through. You're going to go through ABD Manager, and you're going to be setting up a Nexus 6. So as an example, what I'm going to do is say create a virtual device, and we're going to go to Nexus 6. Okay, we'll hit next, and if the version that you want isn't showing up, try looking at x86 images. Go to, we're going to do version 16, and we're going to do Google APIs. As an example, I'm going to download this other version. So what it will start to do is it'll ask you for permission, and you'll just agree to that, and you're going to let it install. Now, beyond that, it'll no longer have this download section available. So you see how this one doesn't have the download section available? That's because it's already been downloaded and it's already on the machine. And you'll see that when this completes. Yep, and so this one's done. Say finish, and it is now done. And I don't want to use the one without the Google one. I'm going to say next, and we're just going to call it that. I already have this one installed, but otherwise you'd say finish. You want it to start up with portrait mode enabled. Okay, the next thing you want to do is start a new Android Studio project with an empty activity. This is just an empty screen, and you're going to call it something like Hello World. I've already made one called Hello World, so what you'll see is a starting tips, and it will start to build the project. It may take a minute for it to load. One of the other things that you'll want to do is you're going to want to make sure your setup, if it doesn't look like this, or if it doesn't look, I like to have the terminal open, so you can see we've got this thing where it shows the screen, and you've got this terminal open, and you've got this device explorer. I'm going to go ahead and close the device explorer, and I'm going to create this as my default view. So we're going to say window, store current layout as default, right? And the other thing that we're going to do is, when we create this file, we're just going to be looking at this design. You can look at it from various different ways. If I were to accidentally close something like this file, Android, and like I didn't know how to get it back, I think it's not Resource Manager, it's Project. But if I didn't know how to do it, and like I was on this screen, I just didn't know how to get back, or I had minimized a bunch of different things, and I didn't know what I was doing. What I would do is I'd say Window, Restore Default Layout. And what that will do is it'll take you back to the original file, and you'll be able to find things much more easily. I actually want to leave the attributes open, so I'm going to go ahead and store this as default. This way, when I click on something, it pops up with the constraints and whatnot. Obviously, if you have a smaller screen, you're going to want to change this around a little bit and give yourself a little bit more space to work with. Maybe you'd only want the you'd only want the design print to be out. So you can see this. We've got these constraints. We're good to go. We can say whatever we want in here. So like if I want to say hello, that'll change it to hello, and you can see it only pops up with that. So we're going to go hello world, exclamation point. And you can see we've got this device available. Now let's see what happens when we click play. What should happen is you should get a pop-up of the device. It may take a bit longer. I've already opened this particular version up once before. What will happen is it'll launch, so it just relaunched the file. So I already had that application up. It relaunched the file. When you first initialize it, it'll take a couple minutes to power on because it's acting as a virtual device. It's going to behave just like a regular device, and that'll pretty much do it for this lecture. What you're going to want to do for this particular project is go ahead and save a screenshot and upload it to the main website. But that pretty much covers the basics of installing Android Studio on your device. I covered Windows previously, and there is a very similar approach to doing Linux. But you can see we've got these other features where we can say stop app. One of the other things we can do is we can actually just close out of this, and what it will do is it'll save the state at which you closed it, and it will automatically launch if you open up the application, and you won't have to reload again. But go ahead and play around with it. Look at what you can kind of mess up. It is a little confusing when you first go because there's stacking ones, so if you notice there's multiple layers, and I also was showing you design blueprint, and what you'll see is that the orientation will change a little bit. Resource Manager, terminal. Just get familiar with this part and it will take you a long way. And that is all for today. Have a good one.